she cheated, then had the nerve to say, "Don't worry, it didn't mean anything." I answered, "Okay." Then I showed her exactly how much nothing meant by taking the non-refundable first-class tickets for our anniversary trip to Paris and giving them to my parents. I discovered my girlfriend of 4 years, Sandra, was unfaithful last night. I won't go into the details of how I found out. It involved a mutual friend who saw something and felt compelled to tell me, along with undeniable proof. The specifics don't matter. The only thing that matters is that it happened. I confronted her when she came home. I calmly laid out the facts without raising my voice. I watched her face go through the typical stages: denial, sputtering excuses, and finally, when she realized she was trapped, she broke down crying. But those weren't tears of regret. They were tears of frustration, the kind someone sheds when caught. Then, through fake sobs, she said the most insulting line I've ever heard. "Look, I messed up, okay? But don't worry, it didn't mean anything." The 4 years we'd built together, the trust I'd given her, the future we'd planned, all supposed to be okay because her betrayal didn't mean anything. In that moment, something inside me didn't break. It became perfectly calm, a strange, cold clarity I'd never felt before. All the hurt and anger were there, but buried deep. On the surface was pure logic. I looked at her, held her gaze until her crying stopped, and said one word: "Okay." She visibly relaxed, relief washing over her face. She thought that was it. That okay meant we were moving on. She wiped her eyes and tried to hug me, but I stepped back. I told her I needed space and went into my office, closing the door. She left me alone, thinking I was processing it all. But I wasn't processing. I was planning. Our 5-year anniversary was in 3 weeks. Just last week, I'd surprised her with a trip to Paris, 10 days first class, non-refundable tickets, a 5-star hotel with an Eiffel Tower view, Michelin-star dinners, private museum tours. Nearly $20,000 spent on a trip to celebrate our relationship, which she just confirmed was worthless. When I gave her the tickets, she was ecstatic, cried real tears, talked about it being her dream trip, and praised me endlessly. She started planning outfits and photos for social media. The trip was a massive status symbol to her. Sitting in my office, I pulled up the travel documents. I saw the names, mine and hers. Then I thought about her words again. It didn't mean anything. Fine. If cheating meant nothing, then the trust and relationship also meant nothing. If the relationship meant nothing, then the anniversary meant nothing. If the anniversary meant nothing, then the $20,000 trip meant nothing. I called the airline, explained the situation calmly, and asked to change the name on the second ticket for a $400 fee. I gave them the info. They changed the ticket from Sandra to Joan, my mother's name. My parents are good people, married 35 years, hardworking, and never had such a trip. Their 35th anniversary was coming up. I called my dad to tell him about the gift. My mother cried real tears of joy. Dad was emotional but hesitant. I insisted they accept. After that, I sat for an hour. Sandra knocked and asked to talk. I said, "Not yet." Later, she slid a note under the door. "I know you're mad, but we can get through this. I can't wait for Paris. It will fix everything. I love you." I felt nothing but cold clarity. I knew the new tickets would arrive tomorrow. Sandra lives in my house, but the mortgage and bills are mine. She pays groceries and small things, but the foundation is mine. She thinks the trip will fix everything. She's right, but not for her. Update 1. 2 days after my post, the new travel package arrived by courier. I signed and left the envelope on the coffee table, a thick white one with the travel agency logo. Sandra couldn't resist. 10 minutes later, she came out, saw it, eyes bright, and asked, "Is that for the trip?" I said neutrally, "I believe so." She tore it open, smiled, then froze in confusion, reading the itinerary. "Mark, who is Joan?" she asked softly. I sipped my coffee. "My mother," I replied. She stared at me, then the ticket, then me again. She didn't get it yet. "Your mom? Why is her name on this? Is this another trip? Did you book something for them?" "No," I said calmly. "That was your ticket until I changed the name." Then the bomb dropped. Her face went from confusion to shock to furious red rage. "You did what? You changed the name? What do you mean?" "Mean?" I leaned on the counter. "It's simple, Sandra. You said your cheating didn't mean anything. I took you at your word. If betrayal meant nothing, then so does our relationship. If our relationship means nothing, then so does our anniversary. This expensive trip meant nothing. I gave it to people whose relationship means something. My parents, married 35 years. This trip means something to them. Her demeanor changed instantly. The remorseful girl was gone, replaced by pure fury. "You can't do that," she shrieked, tickets shaking. "That's my trip. Our trip. You bought it for me." I corrected her. "You broke the commitment, so the celebration's gone. Tickets are non-refundable, but changing the name was easy." She started crying again, but this time without sadness, just entitled rage. She stomped her foot. "Change it back. Call them now. I don't care what it costs. Change it back, Mark." She wasn't apologizing or begging for forgiveness. Her outrage was about losing her luxury vacation. That confirmed all I needed. "No," I said quietly but firmly. "I won't change it back. And we're done, Sandra. The trust is gone. Pack your things and leave." She screamed insults, accused me of cruelty, punishment, ruining her life, all over a trip she felt entitled to despite cheating. I let her scream until hoarse. When she calmed, I repeated, "You have 24 hours to leave. After that, I changed the locks." Panic replaced anger. "Leave? Where? I live here. You stayed here, but I own this house. That's over. You have a day. Start calling." She was speechless, then called her friend Jessica. Between sobs, she told Jessica I was kicking her out and stealing her Paris trip. Jessica arrived like a storm, hugged Sandra, and glared at me silently. She guided Sandra to pack. I spent the evening hearing suitcases dragged and whispered anger. The 24 hours are nearly up. The real storm is just beginning. Update 2. A week since Sandra left. The past days tested a level of entitlement I thought impossible. Sandra and Jessica left on time. Jessica warned me, "You'll regret this. Sandra's a good person. You're throwing away the best thing over one mistake." I closed the door behind them and changed every lock. Best money spent. Silence was peaceful but brief. The smear campaign began quickly. Within 2 days, mutual friends called and texted with a false story. I'd become paranoid and controlling. Sandra made a small mistake, and I flew into jealous rage. The story said I viciously kicked her out and stole the vacation she helped pay for. I was shocked by the lies. Sandra never paid for the mortgage or trip. I calmly told 2 trusted friends the truth about her cheating and words. They believed me and were disgusted with her. For others, I ignored the messages. Then came financial demands. Blocked on my number, Sandra sent a long email demanding $10,000 compensation as half the trip value, claiming emotional investment made her co-owner. She threatened court. I laughed. She had no case. A few days later, she claimed ownership of expensive items, a painting, espresso machine, bookshelves, threatening a police theft report if not returned. I found receipts proving my ownership. I replied professionally, attaching proof, warning false police reports are crimes, and this would be my last message. She didn't reply. Next, she attacked on social media with vague victim stories to gain sympathy. I spoke with my parents, telling the full story so they'd know their gift was genuine. Mom was furious, Dad quiet and supportive. I told them to enjoy the trip and ignore Sandra. Their joy was all that mattered. The harassment showed her true focus, not the relationship, but the lifestyle she lost. She lost an asset, not a partner, and was furious. Final update, 4 months later, life is peaceful and better. My parents went to Paris, stayed 10 days, and had the time of their lives. Mom, never having left the country, sent daily photos, smiling in front of the Louvre, holding champagne on a cruise, standing by the Eiffel Tower at night. Dad sent a simple text, "Son, you gave us a memory for life. Thank you." That text was worth $20,000. I posted one private photo of them on social media. Mom and Dad arm in arm, looking at each other with love, Eiffel Tower sparkling behind. Caption, "So happy I could do this for them. Happy 35th anniversary, Mom and Dad." Sandra saw it. A friend told me she had a meltdown, devastated seeing proof of the happy life moving on without her, the luxury she lost being enjoyed by those who earned it. 2 weeks after my parents returned, I got a formal letter from an unknown law office demanding compensation for emotional distress and wrongful termination of domestic partnership, claiming I owed her money. I hired a sharp lawyer who dismissed the claims, citing her infidelity, lack of ownership, and threatening sanctions for frivolous claims. We never heard from her again. Sandra stayed with Jessica, but her welcome ran out as she made no effort to work or find a place, expecting support and complaining. After 2 months, Jessica told her to leave. Sandra returned to her parents' home, miserable, losing house, trips, lifestyle, and man she took for granted. She played a game and lost